Okay, let's meet the cast of Pitch Please. Today joining us, we have Nate, Carissa, Sam, Lacey, Kyle. Thank you for being here. Did I get everybody? I feel like I skipped somebody.
Fine.
You got everyone that's in the room.
Nobody under the table?
Thank you. Thank you all for being here. I really appreciate it. I know it's really packed in here. This is a really good space for me and maybe one other person to work, but not for 6 of us. So I appreciate you being so cool with being stuck into a small space. Good thing certain people couldn't make it tonight, or it would have been even smashed earlier. Who couldn't be here tonight that's part of the team?
So this is only half our team, believe it or not. We are a very large team. It is Hawley, Miriam, Jake. Who else do we have? Tyler and Jessi.
All right, well, good. So welcome to there's no name for the show. It's just interviewing you guys. So welcome to my office.
Yay!
Thank you for having us.
I think that's
Welcome
it.
to my office.
Yes.
We discovered it all. All right, so this week we're highlighting Pitch Please. Tell us, what is a show all about? What happens in a typical Pitch Please show?
So it is an improvised movie, and we pitch movie ideas to the audience based on some audience interactions. And we've done all kinds of genres, from rom-coms to horror movies. In December, we do a holiday Hallmark movie. We've done everything.
We did Growing Old movie.
Oh, it's
Disney Channel.
Coming of old age.
Disney Channel original movies, Hallmark movies. I want to do a presidential movie, but nobody else wants to.
Superhero movie.
Yes.
Okay.
All kinds of movies.
Okay, question. Actually, it's a 2-part question. So number 1, how long has Pitch Please existed, been doing shows? And 2, you say there's like a little bit of a backstory to it. So if you could fill us in on that, that'd be great.
Well, it was the before times, Brian. It was the before times. And we concepted this show in 2019. A little something happened.
Yeah.
It was somewhere between November and December of
timing.
2019 that we started rehearsing. And we had our first debut show was supposed to be, I want to say it was March 14th or 17th of 2020.
Which is like the weekend we shut down.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we never, that first team, and some of them went off to places unknown and places far away. However, Kyle, myself, and Tyler Horst are the from the original team.
Got it.
And then when we came back, we got a brand new team of lovely improvisers, and so this is the second and final form of Pitch Please.
Okay, all right. Okay, so this is interesting. This is the first time we've ever done this before, and so I was thinking, like, how can we tell people, like, who they should bring to the show? So I was trying to come up with a content rating system for Comedy Spot shows, but here's the thing, like, our shows aren't meant for less than adults. That's why we only sell tickets to 17 and older, and we can't really consider any of our shows like family friendly. Like, you wouldn't bring your kids to it or anything like that. So I came up with an adult scale from 1 to 3. So 1 being some profanity and some adult themes, 2 being stronger language, adult themes, and like sexual situations, and then 3 being like hard adult themes and language and like sexual situations. So I would consider like Anti-Cooperation League to be probably between a 2 and a 3 somewhere right there. So if you had to give I'm going to keep all this now.
I was trying not to say anything.
If you had to use our new Comedy Spot content rating system, adult 1 to 3, what would it be?
I mean, I don't think I speak for everyone, but I feel like we hit a solid 1.5. I want to give us a 1, but I have romanced a truck on stage before.
Right?
It was tasteful.
It was very tasteful, though. It was very tasteful.
Good.
Mechanic business.
I was going to say 1. I feel like it's a real PG sort of time. There is some romance and there is some physical romance, but it's very tasteful when it occurs. And we have not put on the docket like a hardcore porn movie yet.
Ready for it.
One day, you never know. So we're not a 3. I was gonna say 1 though. That was my answer. Yes.
And then Carissa, what do you think? 1 to
I
3.
actually more side with Nate on this one.
Okay.
I think it's more 1.5. I don't think it's super over the top sexual, but
Okay.
I think we've had more than one show where cars are intimate with people.
And you haven't even done like a Fast and Furious themed show yet?
No,
Okay.
no,
Not
it's
yet.
not cars.
Well, I agree. I think your show's about a 1.5, a 2, somewhere in there. So perfect. So now you know who you can bring to the show and feel comfortable.
My parents have been to a lot of Pitch Please shows, and I've never once had a hard time looking them in the eye afterward.
Okay. All right. Next question. So, how is Pitch Please different from other Comedy Spot shows? So, like mechanically, I know you've already talked about it rates on content's a little bit more accessible, but how does this show look different from the other shows of the Comedy Spot?
I mean, one of the big differences is we focus on narrative. We focus a lot on kind of the storytelling beats and kind of telling something straight from beginning to end. Also, we've tried a few different looks on stage mechanically. We started out backstage. Now we're kind of off in the wings. And it creates an atmosphere that's very much like going to the movies.
A movie, but there's no script ahead of time. There's no characters ahead of time. It's all being created right in real time, which is pretty amazing.
We have consistent characters throughout the entire show where frequently we'll always almost we'll have a main character and we'll have supporting characters, and we see their storyline from beginning to end. Their life or their certain circumstances change and shift from the beginning of the show to the end of the show. So I think that's something that's a little bit different, is we tell a story with consistent characters and kind of consistent premises that play themselves out through the entire 45 minutes.
I just had this thought too. So, it's a narrative kind of like You the Musical, right? Mm-hmm. But whereas You the Musical uses musical tropes and things like that, obviously, singing, dancing, stuff like that. You're using the tropes of the genre for that month. What's your favorite genre you've done so far?
Oh.
You have to.
It might be different for each one of us.
Nate, what's your favorite genre?
We already said it, the decom.
Okay, good. Carissa.
I'm gonna go horror.
Horror, good.
Superhero movie.
Oh, good. Yeah,
Hallmark.
good. Kyle, you bringing up the end.
Ooh, I love a good holiday special, just where we can kind of go in and, whether we're talking the winter holidays or we're leaning more toward a Valentine's Day theme,
Right.
something where you can just bite into the season and just really feel it.
Okay, so this is our last question. We're going to let you guys get out of this hot, stuffy office. What are some of your favorite moments performing in Pitch Please? Anybody can go.
The first thing that came to my head is actually, I know it's one of my favorite moments because it's from so long ago, back when we were doing 10:30 shows. Mm-hmm. So it was a 30-minute time slot, and we did a show that was about a summer camp that was haunted by a cafeteria woman who had been murdered there. And her name was Sloppy Gertrude.
My favorite was after Advent. We did that. That was our holiday special. We successfully avoided every possible holiday you could go for. But it was a good father-son kind of story about a dad who worked too hard and a son who... Boy, I wish my dad would play with me. And there was one moment in there where... Tyler was playing the dad, and he was, very much locked into things. Mm-hmm. And I just kind of walked across the stage and looked at him and stormed off. And just hearing the crowd just like, oh, it was like, oh my God, improv can be so much more.
Yeah.
I was going to add to that. What I really like about Pitch Please is that we don't just go for the laughs. Yeah. We want the audience to buy in. So we want to hear those awes. We want to make them cry sometimes. That's our goal. to touch them in some way. So that's something that I think we've worked on in rehearsals a lot. And when we get that moment, it's really rewarding. But as far as favorite moments go, it's
Well, that emotional sort of, payoff, we work really hard to get it.
Yeah.
And usually it comes at the end of a story when a character discovers themselves. They could be more than they thought they could be. The typical sort of ending to a sappy movie.
Yeah.
But my favorite moment is we earn that emotional sort of moment with Nate peeing themselves on stage.
Oh
and that was the big payoff. And Nate's character just was so... People told her not to pee her pants, but she did.
Yeah.
And that's how we knew that she had grown as a person. And we earned the payoff, but it was so funny.
What was the genre? Do you remember?
That was a Hallmark Channel
of course
movie.
It was. Yeah.
It was Kentucky Crawdads was the name of that one.
yes. And you were
That
like
was one of the best.
Petunia pee-pee pants or something. Yeah.
Yeah. It was like Penny.
Penny pee-pee pants.
Yeah.
Nate, bring it home. Do you have a special moment from the show?
So this comes from the one where I romanced Lacey. This was the final moment, and we had defeated Lacey after a long, drawn-out battle between a man who could transform into a tow truck and an evil vampire truck.
And don't forget Henry Ford was there too.
Henry Ford was there.
What was I thinking?
And so we have this moment where my character pauses, like what should I do? And from the audience, I hear a woman ring out, "Killer!"
Oh my gosh.
I don't think we were gonna kill the car until that happened.
No, because and then Kyle's character comes up with the perfect fitting ending. We bury her in the same mountain we retrieved her from at the beginning of the film. Tied it all back together. It was one of my favorite moments ever.
All right, well, cast a pitch, please. Nate, Carissa, Sam, Lacey, Kyle, thank you for being here in my office. I guess that's what we're going to go with.
Office. I love it.
That's beautiful.
We really appreciate you being here. Good luck on your next show.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brian.
Bye, guys.
Come see a Pitch Please show.